What's up, guys? Welcome back to the channel again. Today we're gonna be showing you guys the trade I took yesterday. So a little trade recap here, breaking to you what I saw in the market, how did I execute and stuff. So it's actually the first trade recap of the channel. So if you have any feedback, tips you want to give, things you want to see differently, don't hesitate to tell me. That's the first time I'm doing this. So let's show on the chart and let's break into you how I made $997 on the day. So that's the trade I took. So I'll break it to you from the beginning to the end, step by step. So how I started the day, I was honestly pretty bearish, even though we had to consider the fact that market has pumped a lot those recent days. Like this is pretty crazy. So I was I was not like I was bullish on the way on the fact that market could have continued pumping, but um, on a daily basis, I was more I was more bearish at the beginning, but ended up taking longs. That's the beauty of trading. You don't have to stick with your bias. So why I was bearish at first, as we can see here, I marked out London and London highs and lows, and directly when the market opened, um, we see that price directly come up and take those high. So that's why I was looking for short first. I was looking for bearish confluence to enter short because of this sweep. And on a on a more uh higher time frame, that's why it was logic to take longs because we had, if we can see on the higher time frames of 1 hour, we had those draw here that were relatively close and that were high. I probably they get hit. So I'll break it to you first why I wanted to take longs and how I revert how why I wanted to take short at first and how I reversed it into taking this long. So first I saw this sweep as I said. Wait, as I said, Nasdaq was staying below it at first, so I was hoping for an SMT. Nasdaq end up taking it too. That doesn't matter. We can't have a trade without S&T, of course. So after we swept this, I was looking for bearish confluence on the 5 minute at first. So what we had is this big ass candle that ended up being a manipulation. I thought at first I thought I was maybe a confluence. I was looking at it as a confluence, always being patient because we were still in the manipulation time frame, which can happen till 9:45. So I was being patient to wait. Like maybe maybe this is a a manipulation, and also what tells me that it is a manipulation is that I had this low marked out on the 5 minute 15 minute low. That is that was one of my TP. Now I wanted that as a TP if I was willing to take short, and it just smacked it directly. So that the first red flag I had on short directly took it. So but I was still looking for short at this point. Inversed it, inversed those two gaps. Technically broke structure here if end up not being a break of structure but a manipulation. So yeah, I was still looking for short here. And then I was looking for the retracement. We had this beautiful 5 minute gap that I marked out, end up being an inversion. So I wanted the price to come up, fill this gap, and then go down again. So, and that's a lesson I took yesterday to always be very patient because we almost had a perfect short setup. But because that I was patient, I end up not taking it for the good reasons, of course. Because yeah, of course you see the again 5 minute inversion. I mean, I was not in inversion yet, but 5 minute fair value gap that we had. Price come up, almost reach it, barely reach it. I think it was equilibrium or pretty close from it. Yeah, it wasn't. It was relatively close from the equilibrium. So yeah, and I then when it price come up like that, so it's a pretty much breakaway gap. So I was not expecting that much of a retracement because of the fact that price went down so fast. So I was expecting a inversion of this gap if I wanted to enter short and target lower as like example London low. I was probably the lower I would have um trade, but you know that was there was possibility lower because all the pump that we had there was a stacked up there stacked up for our for value gap below prices that need to be filled, but that didn't happen yesterday. So I was waiting for this inversion right there, and look what happened with this wick. Someone who wasn't patient yesterday probably lost a lot of money if he entered off this wick that wasn't closed already. I waited really like I wanted to see an inversion. What happened? Went all the way down there, ended up not inversing it, and went all the way up again to the 5 minute, and that's when my short bias officially got invalidated. It's with this 5 minute inversion. So when this 5 minute inversion, this 5 minute fair value gap got inversed, I start realize, okay, that's is a manipulation right here of 5 minute lows. We're still in a very bullish um, order flow on the higher time frames. So I will be looking for longs now. So that's when I start looking for longs. That was my first confluence for the for the long. So 5 minute inversion right here. Then while I look for a retracement. So I placed I think it was equilibrium that I did. Yeah, and it went precisely to equilibrium, didn't reach it, didn't pass it, but pretty clean to equilibrium. Cool. And then what I do after that, I stick to my rules. I always want a 5 minute um a 5 minute confluence to the direction I want price to go. Can be 2 minutes sometimes, but I always like to have a 5 minute that tells me where the market wants to go. I think 5 minute is a pretty solid PD raise to have, like a pretty solid time frame to have your PD raise on when you want to see confluence. Sorry. So after this 5 minute inversion, retest on equilibrium, precisely on equilibrium. I was willing to find a 1 minute confirmation confluence to enter the trade. So I was only looking for 1 minute or 1 minute confluence and then enter. So what I had here is you can see I already marked out this 1 minute inversion. Took a long time to inverse. As we can see, price chopped around a little bit, went lower, end up respecting every sorry, end up respecting every um bullish confluence. Didn't break any lows, stay to it. And then at 10, 10, 10, price came, break this structure, inverse this gap. Then that was my entry call. I enter. I don't remember exactly. I think it was one contract or like maybe 9 micros. I think it was 9 micros. So I entered a trade here on 3 account and yeah, ended up playing pretty good. I could have, and that's another reason why I took the trade on ES and not NQ, even though NQ was more bullish. I could have only took a partial here, put my stop loss at break even, and let the train run and the let the trade run all the way here because as we can see, this is a really strong high, a really strong daily high that we had. So of course, anything is for sure it's always a random outcome, but that was high. That was I was really looking for, but I really end up closing my position at this high because of the, of course, consistency rules and stuff that kind of suck. Depends on the way you're trading, but I would normally have closed this trade all the way up there. Um, and when you see how the day went, I think it's pretty solid to say that you could have even hold it higher than this high. But yeah, whatever. I closed it here. The there gave me a pretty good risk ratio, and yeah, that's why I decided to take the trade on ES and not NQ is because even though NQ was already higher, first it would have been hard to put a clear stop loss. Here it was pretty easy. I maybe should have put my stop loss below this wick. I wanted to play a little bit more risky and have a better risk reward, so I put it just below this like a little bit higher simply basically. So yeah, that's the first point. I wanted to have a clear stop loss even though NQ was more bullish. I rather take a trade that is clearer, has more confluences, and also second point that has a clear target that I want to be hit. So of course, um, it didn't reach it already like in the first second, but um, that was a strong point. That's the only thing I'm trying to say is again NQ didn't have this strong point as as a draw liquidity. Sorry, I'm losing my word. So the NQ didn't has that. So I rather took the trade on ES that had this key area, even though I took profit here because of the consistency, and that was still a pretty solid draw. And yeah, I hope it helped you guys to just understand. Always waiting for your confluences. Don't jump the gun I could have did, like I could have done here with this wick. I'm not sure you're seeing it with this wick here. Don't jump the gun on your trade. Really, like wait again here. If I would have jumped the gun here on this candle, it's almost inverse. I would have been probably put my stop here or here and would have been stopped out with this wick. So really like wait for your confluences to show up. And this is just a reminder to stay disciplined on your strategy. So yeah, hope it helped. Don't hesitate to like, subscribe, if you enjoyed it, if it helped you. It really motivate me to do more video like that. So hope you liked it and stay tuned for the next trade recap.